All right.
Amen.
The more the merrier.
Because it's so funny how God does things. And really, any one of you can get up and say what's on your heart. But God always puts something on the inside of you that will not only push others forward, but it starts with you. So that's why it's kind of easy to really, because I know God speaks to me concerning me because he knows what a mess I was and is. You know, yeah. I'm not, you know, so I look at people, you know, that see me differently, even on my job, how they look at me, and they think I have everything.
Yeah.
But God has shown himself faithful.
Yes.
To me.
Hallelujah.
For real. And even though some things go on that causes myself to get in front of what I see, I learned how to push myself back. I had to learn that. And as I give this small talk to you, because I have no notes other than what I have. But I want you to understand as we go into the new year, like Bishop said, he gave the analogy of cutting his phone completely off. You really do have to do that in order to move forward. Because you can't go forward full force without, if you're dragging something with you.
Dead weight. Come on, Pastor.
Now I did sometimes I did that as I was in the martial arts. I was doing it. I would put weights on me to cause me to move faster. But in turn, in life, that does not work. You cannot keep dealing with the old stuff, trying to get to the new. Now, concerning your vision, concerning the vision of this house, a lot of times you have to, reboot.
All right.
Yes. Now, some things, when I did my phone, they come talking about what do I want to put in the cloud and all of that, and what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. I say, nothing. Because nothing was more important to me than the event, what was going on, my phone getting fixed.
Yeah.
I wanted the phone to work.
Right.
So what I had put on there wasn't about nothing. And I had to know that, and even in your life as you move on, some things are good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't God's best.
Well,
So sometimes you have to leave the good
to
get to
The best.
the best.
all right,
All right now.
I was thinking about one of the preachers that I was listening to, and he was saying how he preached. He said, I preach the same way to 5 as I do to 150,000.
Right.
The same fervency that he used then, he's still using now. So he didn't have to catch up to nothing. It was already in him, and the people that really was talking about him was the ones who are looking up to him now. A lot of times we don't see that because we're in front of our face. Most of the time you have to find a way to step back out of your own way.
well,
And sometimes that is a hard thing to do. Because we are so prideful. You don't want to say it, but that's really what it is.
That's what it is.
And a lot of times I had to face the truth about me in order to get to the place where I wanted to be. I was coming out of my job one time, you know, I worked hard all day, blah, blah, blah. And as I walked out the back door, I heard from the back of me, God has left the building. It kind of offended me. But then again, I turned back. Because at the same time, they recognized who I was, not me. They didn't say Rap left the building. Spirit of God that I bring to that place.
Come on.
Let
They
it go.
said left.
Come on.
But even though I know he had never left,
Well,
Right.
because they were walking in the space that I had walked in. But just to hear them say that,
what you
as I
say?
left,
So it's lingering. Uh-huh.
you have to know what you bring to the next.
That's true.
You have to know it.
You have to know.
When you coming up and walking around and doing the things that you do, know your worth.
That's it.
You have to know it. And then as you see all this stuff coming up right in front of you, all this stuff that is going on, then you know that that is not the important thing. The important thing is where you're going.
That's right.
And a lot of times as we move from place to place and whatever we do, we don't see ourselves the way we really should.
Yes, sir.
And I know sometimes that's disheartening to some, but you have to know in your spirit and in your heart, because once it drops into your heart and begins to infiltrate that, it becomes real to you. And a lot of times things aren't real because we got head knowledge. We don't really know it in our heart and in our spirit. We know it in our mind.
Well,
People can quote the Bible and do all of that stuff way better than we can, but what do they know, really? What is really in their hearts causing them to be catapulted to the next? As we go into this 2020, we don't know really how it's going to be, but God knows.
Amen.
And all we have to do is trust Him.
Trust him.
That's all we have to do
Trust.
is trust. But a lot of times we feel that we have to do something. I was telling my wife today, and this is a great experience as far as bringing it over here and doing this, but a lot of times we do things to make it, to fix it. A lot of times. It's okay to do some things, but the reason why you do it, or you're doing it just for a change, or what is the motive?
right.
The motive is most important. Why you do what you do.
Come on. Come on.
And
Do
I'm
what you do.
I'm one of the ones who really always, my wife, you know, she beats herself up a lot. But I say, baby, look, you are more than you can see.
Amen.
You have talent beyond that I can even comprehend.
Yes, you do.
And I just see it so much in you. And when I see her minister to young people and to other people around, she gets out of herself and moves into another level. But it seems like when she's in front of a lot of people, she may get kind of pulled back. But when she's talking to somebody trying to help them, it's
All
amazing.
right, all right,
It's
all right.
amazing for real. And I am right now trying to look into something to launch into 2020. And I was thinking about some old things that the church does. They have a men's and women's something. But is that really God's way?
Well,
Because when God created man,
Yeah.
male and female
Come on,
was
come
in
on,
that
come on.
man.
Come on. Wait now.
So if we're trying to do something together, or if we're doing it separately, I don't think that's really the will that God has. So I have been putting in my mind a thought. And it won't go away, so I know God is really, God is really doing something with that.
A thought.
And the thought was this.
with my
And I'm
thoughts.
gonna throw it out there whether it's here or wherever.
Right, it's your thought. Right, you've had it.
He put the thought in my mind called the huddle.
All right now.
The huddle. Now, people don't go to a game to see the huddle, but they do go to the game to see the result of the huddle. And the words came after I wrote that down, and I wrote a big thing about it, trying to figure out what to do. And it meant to me, help us do deliberate love every time.
you hear that, Robert?
Every
Did you get it?
time.
Did you get it, Robert?
Help us do.
Help us do.
Not men, not just the women, but help us do. And then whatever part you bring to that,
Yeah.
Help us do.
help us do.
Help us do.
And I, really, because I want to do it, and I'm going to do it,
Amen.
but it's been inside of me for so long.
Come on.
Give us.
And that has been a vision of mine to try to get, and I really have to get that word out, try, because it pushes me away from really doing
Doing it. Come on.
And one of the things that I think that we are so, well, there's a couple of things, but one is procrastination. That is one of my big things. I put things off for so long. But as we begin to recognize, and that is how you get your vision checked, you are beginning to see some things in you that you need to fix.
Amen.
And a lot of times it's not God fixing it, it is you.
You
Yes.
fix it.
But God will help you through it because you think you can't do it. And the real deal is you cannot do anything without Him. But what you have to realize is that you have to step. We say the steps of a good man are ordered by
Well,
God.
yeah. Uh-huh.
That's what you
Just say it, one of the steps.
Yeah.
That's what you say.
When something happens, it's just one of the steps.
Right.
When you fall back, it's just one of the steps.
Mm.
But let me let you know this, you're still on track.
Okay.
You have not lost the game. And as we go back into this new year, and as we think, and as we come together as leaders and as members, know that your ideas are important.
Amen.
It may be something that you have thought about your own self. It may be some kind of way you have thought to launch something. But that's how a lot of this stuff got started.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody stepped
With a
out
thought.
Uh-huh.
and did.
Yeah, they
What
had
they
a thought.
thought.
They had a thought.
That's
Right.
true.
And everything, everything starts.
It's a thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. God had a thought. Yes, He did.
That's what the God
Look at God. He stepped
Yes,
out
he
on
did.
the
He saw
side.
us. And that's why we're still here.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. He's still thinking about us.
Y'all just don't know.
Hallelujah. I'm glad He's on my mind. On His
Oh,
mind. Yes.
A lot of
Hallelujah.
times we
Thought
say
about
we
me.
want to forget, but
Hallelujah.
God thought
Glory to
enough of us.
I'm on God's mind.
And He loved us enough.
Yeah.
So love. Hey, hallelujah. Glory to God.
And I really think it's our job really to do the loving of the people for real. And that's why it's so important that we love them, even in this new time that we're going in to show them a new way to love. But it is our job to love.
Yes, it is.
Because it says that God so loved the world.
The world.
The world. We want to say God so loved the people. But God sent us into the world. See, y'all ain't.
Bless your name, God.
You know, a lot of times, when I say stuff in the family to them, they think I'm crazy. But now they're coming along. Because they're realizing that what they think they know, they really don't know. Because I can be at a setting and it seems like the conversation is always something negative about somebody else's.
Yes, they'll say it about you. Yes, they do.
So right now, I know how to do it. I know how to speak kindly.
Come
I'm
on,
never
come on,
mean,
come on,
Yes,
kindly.
that's right. That's all right.
But I'm not afraid to speak truth.
That's right.
A lot of times with this congregation here, sometimes you don't really, you feel uncomfortable speaking out what you know, what God has shown you, but say it.
That's right.
Say what God has shown you.
You're right.
And that will launch you and this ministry into a new place.
All right, folks. That's
Because
true.
right now, it looks like we're big. It does. And the look is good.
Amen.
I'm talking about the physical look.
Yeah.
But we want to know, we want to understand that even if we're in a place that really swallows us up, that we're still big.
Yeah, come on.
Know that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are still
Still big.
big. And if 10 of us,
Was in the big place.
10 of us
We feel those.
would come, we wouldn't have a financial issue.
Hallelujah.
If 10 would come together and do something consistently.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just going to say it because
Come on.
it is something that, like I said, I've talked to Pastor Nikita and I've talked to Bishop and I've talked to a lot. We were trying to get a vision for people to come together and contribute money. And we just needed 10 people. But that never happened. So I did it on my own. What you see over here, all of this, is what came from that.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
We didn't have a lot coming,
Yes, sir.
but in saving
Yeah.
and in doing
Right, right.
and in continuing to do,
Thank you.
Thought.
Thank you very much.
that was the thought.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't think nothing because there's times that I could have did something else.
Come on now. Now that's true.
I'm just being truthful.
I know, right?
Letting you all know that what you think is important.
Becomes the
Put your mind to it.
That's true.
And this favor, like I said, this favor
My
ain't
Lord.
comfortable all the time.
No.
But if you are going to walk in that being blessed and
It's what you
highly
decide.
favored,
It's what you decide.
make up your mind
It's what
to
you
do.
decide.
That's it.
That's right.
And like I said, God will
If you decide.
manifest himself on the inside of you in a way that he will take care of all of your needs. All of it. Even though you gave out, God will take care of all your needs. And as you move into this time of perfect vision, consider to look at yourself. Look, see what you can bring to the table.
My Lord.
We all can't do the same thing and we all don't do the same thing.
No, we don't.
Amen.
But the thing that you can do that. Then you'll understand and you will see that God is moving still in glory to glory.
Yes,
a lot of
he
times
is.
we are in our own thought pattern concerning us, but people see what you think outside of here. Because sometimes our actions show it.
My Lord.
But as we go into the new, for real, as we go into the new, this time, look at yourself first.
Amen.
Look at yourself.
Yes, sir.
We respect Bishop highly. I don't know a man who I trust more, for real,
Amen.
All right.
because he has been consistent in everything
Yes.
to me.
Uh-huh.
But I just want you all to know that we need to help because too many people, too many men and women of God are leaving here because of the weight of the ministry. But if we pick up the slack,
The weight becomes bearable.
Mm.
That's true.
it's a tag team. You want to step up and do it.
Yeah, everybody preach.
I'm telling you,
Hallelujah.
I'm telling you, that is what this ministry has been a voice to the city so many ways. And wherever you are, use your voice.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Don't shy away
That's
from your
true.
voice.
We all have a thought.
We
That's
all
true.
do. And you have to say it. And when you begin to say, because when God created the earth and he said, let there be,
Yes,
Amen.
he
Still
did.
is.
And there
it
was.
still is.
And it's still
And
in.
it's
Glory.
still-
He spoke
As he
once.
said.
And the first thing that came out
Glory to God. He said
was
one
sound. You have to make sound.
Hallelujah. And creation was formed. Bless his name.
Sound. Say something.
That's true.
You have to say
I agree.
what you see
My God.
and you